Hello there, channel members, friends, and followers from around the world. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for tonight's show. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking another look at the Toliss A320 Neo based on popular vote. And for extra challenge, we're going to simulate an engine fire once we are airborne. And we're going to take a look at all the simulation of the emergency procedures that are modeled and simulated aboard this rather complex aircraft by Toliss. Before we begin our stream today, I want to welcome James, Rand, hello my friend, William Colbert, thank you for your kind message there, Ryan, Stan, Benjamin George, and we have also Raul Rodriguez. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here this evening, and thank you for all the channel members for your continued support. I want to also thank all of you who already donated for the Fly Lilo project. Again, the Fly Lilo project is a nonprofit organization aimed at helping the disabled in our community to procure and secure and provide them with adaptive gaming devices so that they can enjoy flight simulation and gaming. If you want to show your support to the disabled in our community, please do support the Fly Lilo project. And thank you very much, Rand, for your very generous donations. Stan, thank you very much, Ryan, or all of you guys who've donated. Niels, thank you all for your donations. Your donation is seriously for a very good cause, and you are going to make a huge difference in the lives of many who are disadvantaged in the world. Today, what we're going to be doing, we are going to be flying in the Toliss colors, again, as a way of thanking Toliss for providing me with this aircraft with a preview copy of the Toliss A320 to showcase here on the channel. And by far, this Toliss aircraft, in my opinion, is my personal favorite of the Toliss lineup. It is complex, the texturing is not the exterior, but the interior texturing, I think, is very reasonable out of the box. The sounds of the engines are quite nice. And the simulation of the aircraft systems is absolutely spot on. And now we have several real-world Airbus pilots that have attested to the accuracy of this aircraft. So here's what we're going to be doing. We are going to be departing today Chopin Airport in Poland, and we're going to be heading it to Prague, Lima Kilo Papa Romeo. And just right as we begin our descent into our destination, we are going to simulate an engine fire. Thank you very much for the donation, again, for the Fly Lilo project. I appreciate it. Looks like Rand. Again, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Daniel, hello, Skidmore. Welcome aboard. Haven't had time to watch your live for a while. Good to be here. Well, good to have you, Daniel. Thank you very much. F10, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. So let's go ahead and hop into the cockpit and get things started. All right. By the way, we are using Active Sky XP12. We're going to take a look at this once we are at our destination. Suffice it to say that I haven't really seen that much difference between the weather that it injects versus the weather that X-Plane generates and injects into the sim. But I'm going to show you the differences. We'll talk a little bit about that once we are at our destination, and hopefully in one piece after the engine fire that we're going to simulate today. All right, so let's go ahead and come here to the electronic. No, actually, we can just go here and start turning things up. Let's power up the aircraft. We're going to go battery 1, battery 2, and external power. Cruise supply can go on, ground control can go on, and the ADIRS can go to nav mode. Now, one thing I've noticed, I've been watching real-world Airbus videos, real pilots starting up the aircraft and doing different procedures. And what I've noticed is that the nav or the ADIRS button, actually, in order to turn them, you have to pull them out and then turn them. And this is not simulated here, which is okay in my view. It's not a big deal, but it would have been nicer to see that pop out with the turn so that it simulates what happens in real life. So not a big deal, but that's how it operates in real life. All right, let's come down here, and we are going to turn on the emergency lights, non-smoking, and fasten seatbelt signs, nav lights, and we'll worry about the fuel pumps in just a little bit. We're going to brighten up our displays, and by the way, the weather that we're seeing slight rain, and this is not what the weather in Active Sky tells us, but anyway. We'll talk extensively about that once we land. All right, so we're going to brighten up our displays, our upper ECAM, lower ECAM, and the PFD and the ND are all good, looking good, excellent. We can bring up the FMC now, and let me bring it to view right here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And actually, maybe we ought to do this. All right, let's do this. I think that way you guys can see it better. All right, here, let me do this and zoom in. That's perfect. All right, so we're going to go to the McDo menu. We're going to go to ATSU AOC menu, and we're going to select Flight Init right here. Flight Plan Data Link in progress. Hello there, Chief Sim Pilot. Welcome aboard. Thomas Wang, good evening to you, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. All right, excellent. Says perf data uplink, so it looks like we have all our information now in the init page, as you can see here. All right, we have the init page. As you can see, the departure today from Chopin to Prague. Alternate is EDDM, that would be Munich Airport. Again, fictitious of flight number today, lot 7678. Cost index 13 and a cruise altitude of 36,000 feet. Let's go to the iris init. We're going to say align and confirm alignment. Perfect. And next up, we can go to the next page and check on our fuel. Looks like everything here looks good. 5.3, all is good here. And then we can come here and select our departure. To do this, we are going to bring up our friendly Abby tab. And we're going to go up, let's see here. Aircraft, custom scenery. Let's go back one up. X-Plane 12. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, here we go. And let's go to the output folder and select operational flight plan. And we're going to select this plan here, which is Echo Papa Whiskey Alpha. That's our plan for today. And we are going to zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the next page where the flight plan is. And let me zoom in this so you guys can follow along. All right, so we're departing runway 29er at Chopin, runway 29er. And we're going to be doing so through the Soxter 7 Golf departure. Soxter 7 Golf. And no transition. Insert. Excellent. And then we're going to select our arrival airport at Prague. And the arrival today is through the ILS runway 24. All right, we'll see how the aircraft, behaves with an ILS with single engine operations. Well, it should be very interesting. And we'll go to the Golf 4 Sierra arrival, as we can see here, Golf 4 Sierra. And if you look at the charts, you'll see that there is one transition, which is the Eraso transition, which is right here. So we're going to select that and insert. We're going to cycle through the flight plan here just to make sure there are no discontinuities. It's a short flight, by the way, just today to demonstrate the complexity of the Toliss A320 Neo by Toliss. We have our center fix, final fix for runway 24. And by the way, I don't know how this stream is going to end up. Maybe we end up, hitting the floor, hitting the ground, beg your pardon. So I don't know how it's gonna work. We'll see. And we have with us today William, Jeremy, Paul. Welcome, my friend. Wait, is the engine on fire? Not yet, Jeremy. Not yet. X11 simulations. Welcome aboard. Thoughts on Active Sky? we're going to discuss that in some detail today once we are at our destination, hopefully in one piece. All right, so we're done here. We're done with the flight plan. We're going to go to perf, but before we do perf, we can start the APU. So APU master is on, and we can start the APU. APU door is not open yet. It is now. All right, so APU is on. Excellent. And we're going to turn on the fuel pumps as well. Brilliant. Okay. All is good. Alignment is in 4 minutes, and now we can do the performance. Now, for the performance, we are going to go to the uplink takeoff data, and we're going to select takeoff data here. We're going to select, all right, let's leave that for now. All right, takeoff data is there. So if we go takeoff data received, there we go, insert uplink. Brilliant. And now we have V1 142, V rotate 145, and V2 147, transition altitude 6500, and the thrust reduction 2070, flaps 1, trim 0.04 up. The flex temperature today is 73, and everything else is in tip-top shape. Perfect. All right, so we have everything set up here, and our flight plan is ready. We need to change this to HPA, and the current altimeter, if we go and take a look at the weather. Now, we can listen to the weather, by the way, here, so let's do that. One of the features of Active Sky XP.
Echo, Papa, Whiskey, Alpha, airport information, Gulf 1800, Zulu, weather, wind 174 at 6, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 10, dew point 6, QNH 0996, advise on initial contact you have information, Gulf.
All right, information Gulf, and
Echo.
QNH is 996. Now, it says the weather is clear, so clear sky, and this is what I can see on Active Sky. But when I come here, the skies are not clear for sure. I mean, this doesn't look like clear skies, does it? Yeah, this doesn't look like clear skies, but anyway. All right, so we are just waiting for the final alignment. Oreo problems. Hello, my friend. Looks very nice, Q8. This thing is looking very good since day one. Toliss just keeps getting better. I'm happy to see myself. Not disappointed. Good review. Well, thank you very much, sir. Lucas, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. Thank you for your support, being a member. And ladies and gentlemen, Fly Lilo himself is in the house. Thomas Wang, thank you very much for your super chat of 50 DKK. Appreciate it, my friend. Very kind of you. Thank you. And guys, if you have any questions about the Fly Lilo project, please do ask Fly Lilo. He is in the house. Thank you very much, Fly Lilo, for being here this evening. All right. So, ooh, look at that Wizz Air takeoff there. Very nice indeed. Lovely. Yeah. Very nice. All right. So we're done here, and we are ready to start our engines. So we're going to come back here to the overhead panel, and we're going to turn off the external power. We're going to turn on the beacon lights on, and we then can set up the FMC on this side. So we're set this to takeoff. We'll brighten up the display here a little bit so we can see better, and everything here is looking good. All right. Alignment is should happen any moment now. So we're going to set this to 10 nautical miles, and we are good to start our engines. All right. To start the engines, we're going to set the engine mode selector to start, and we're going to begin with the engine number 2. Right, here we go. Or the ADIRS or the alignment is now complete, and let's go ahead and set the engine mode selector to start. And let's go and start engine number 2 first. There we go. And it's going to take a little while to cool down period And then you'll start seeing the engine spooling. You can see the beautiful engines there. Kiwi. Kiwi, by the way, is a fruit. So, all right. So what we can do here while the aircraft is... by the way, I do like this Toliss livery. Yeah. I do like it. All right. So in the meantime, we can come to the... let's just come here and go to ground services. We're going to turn off external power and chocks. Right. Why is it taking so long? Do we have... APU bleed. There we go. All right. Now the engines are starting. Perfect. Yeah. Listen to those sounds. Those engine sounds are wow. All right, perfect. We have a good start on engine number 2. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1. Now, for our flight today, I had to make a small change to my throttle configuration. So I have the HOTAS throttle quadrant. And the nice thing about it is you can either couple or decouple the throttle. And so I've changed the assignment so that each axis controls one of the throttles. Normally I have them both. So actually moving throttle number 1 moves both throttles 1 and 2 in the sim. Today I have separated them because this is going to be required when we simulate the engine fire. Luke Lucas is also a little flightless bird native to New Zealand. Oh, Luke, thank you very much for that piece of info. I didn't know that. Aviation Zone, welcome aboard. Hey, man, love it going. Just a question. Do you happen to know any new aircraft coming to X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12? And if so, when? I don't know of anything new coming other than the Falcon 8X by Aerobas. But X-Plane has already got some very excellent aircraft today, both the airliners and GA. So, all right, looks like we have a good start. Not yet. Well, kind of, sort of. Here, let's take a look. All right. Just about. There we go. Engine is available. And now we have a good start on both engines. Brilliant. Let's set our altitude to 36,000 feet. Right, 36,000 is now set. Excellent. And the engine mode selector can go back to normal. We're going to arm the ground spoilers, and we're going to set flaps 1 for departure. Set our trim to 0.4 units up. That's about right here, I think. That's reasonable. And set the auto brake to maximum. We're going to notify cabin crew. All right, and we're going to turn off the APU bleed, APU master. We're going to turn on the nose lights and runway turn-off lights, and we are ready to taxi to the runway. All right, cabin is ready, and we're going to set the TCAS to TARA so that we don't forget it. And let's start our clock. Excellent. So we are good. Let's release the parking brake and head over to the runway. We can, of course, do the flight control check real quick. Full up, full down, full left, full right, neutral, pedal full left, full right, brake press, and the before taxi checklist is complete. Brilliant. Can't hear the engine sounds for some reason. I wonder why. And looks like we have another donation here for the Fly Lilo project. Thank you very much, guys, for your support. I appreciate it. Why are we not getting the engine sounds? Let's check the outside. We are getting them on the outside, but not the inside. We don't have that roar. Why are we not getting these sounds? Let me go to the Toliss control panel real quick. And let's go to sounds. We have everything here. Override the... see this rain here? That's not very accurate. Override XP until... Yes, let's do that. We're going to put master volume. Let's see here. Maybe that's better. I still can't hear the engine sounds for some reason from the cockpit. Right, we are clear on the left, clear on the right. We're crossing the runway here for runway 29er. And that will also allow us sufficient time for the engine oil to warm up. I remember in the previous flight, when we came to take off, it gave us a warning here that the oil temps are too low and that we should delay the takeoff. Only had 78, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Mr. Newbie, welcome aboard. Any idea when the flight you'll have an engine fire? We will have the engine fire once we begin our descent at approximately 15,000 feet. Stan, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. Alex, welcome aboard from the Netherlands. Benny, welcome. Thank you very much, guys, for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your memberships and your continued support. I truly appreciate it. Bez and Nazwi, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Pilot Oos, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Right, let's take a look at the outside real quick. All right, so here's a question that I keep getting. How do I get the aircraft on the center line? Okay, so if I switch to the external view, you'll see that the front wheel is on the yellow line right there. Okay, and to keep it there, all you need to do really is make sure that you see this yellow line that aligns with the line here. So now if I switch to external view, you'll see that we are on the line there, on the taxi line. Okay, so just align this little yellow triangle there with the center line of the runway, and then you should be there. I don't think we are at the right runway here, so let's take a look. Where is our runway today? Let's go to Navigraph and let's zoom in a little bit. And this is which runway? Are we departing runway 33 or runway 29er? Gee, I forgot. Let's come back here. All right, runway 29er, and it looks like I'm heading for runway 33. So where's runway 29er? Runway 29er is right there. Excellent. So we'll just continue, and we will make a left on taxiway Lima, and that should take us to runway 29er. Okay. Perfect. I wonder why we're not getting those really nice sounds. Let me do one thing. Let me resume. Hold on. Let's go to the Toliss control panel. And if we go here, if I change this to the PW engines, aha! Now we're getting the sounds. I guess the sounds are different for the engines. All right, and of course this one gives us the different set of engines there. But that's all right. All right, so this is taxiway Lima coming up, and this is all right. So that's taxiway Lima. I really like the default airports in X-Plane 12. They are so well done. and with very proper, you know, markings, buildings. The structural design of the airports is pretty accurate. I really like the default airports. Definitely good work by Laminar on the default airports in XP12. Right, looks like everything here is good, and the temperature, oil temperature and PSI is also good. We are approaching the runway. We're going to turn on the landing lights, nose light to takeoff, strobe to auto, wings are on, and the fasten seatbelt sign and non-smoking signs are both turned on. And we are now, ladies and gentlemen, cleared for takeoff. So we're going to just make the turn here towards the runway, and we're going to depart. Baker, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Row Page, welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys here. How you find ASXP12 differs from default weather engines? We'll discuss that a little bit. I don't find it very different, to be very honest. That's my quick answer to you. But I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I've noticed. And of course, I could not say which one was more accurate, but we'll take a look at that once we land. All right. We are cleared for takeoff, runway 29er, and here we are lining up for departure. I love the sloped runways in X-Plane. All right, there we go. And let's set power to 50%. Set parking brake released. Man flex, SRS, and runway. This rain is definitely not shown on the Active Sky window there, but that's okay. All right, coming up to V1. V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb, and gears going up. Flyby. Oh yeah. All right, we continue our climb at about 15-degree pitch. And thrust climb is set. Autopilot 1 is engaged. Look at that, guys. That looks very nice. Yeah. All right, we're going to now climb to 36,000 feet, 33,000 feet. Darlin, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Omar Wali, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us this evening. All right, we speed check, flaps up. And we can now disarm the ground spoilers and continue our climb. Now, if you notice, if you look here at Active Sky, and it says the current condition at aircraft position, it's showing clear skies. Obviously, we do not have clear skies in this sim. And if we look at the X-Plane weather, you'll see that it actually is showing something different there. So I'm not sure. I think somehow X-Plane is overriding you know, what we have here, but I'll show you that once we land. It could be that I'm doing something wrong, but we'll take a look at that. Obviously, the weather is very different from. It's definitely not clear at all, as you can see. So something is off there for sure. And we have also John C. Jones, I am not sure I can say your full name, but thanks for being here, my friend. I appreciate it. John Jacobs, are you on manual weather? No, I am not on manual. Should I be on manual weather for Active Sky to work properly? Right, QNH is set to standard on captain and first officer's side. Yes, okay, we can do that for sure. So we're going to come here and we're going to say manual enter weather. All right. And we're going to say apply changes. All right. So now apply weather and we'll see what happens. All right. So we continue our climb, 10,000 feet. Landing lights can go off. And nose light to off, runway turn off lights and wing are everything's off. We're going to also release the passengers and cabin crew and continue our climb to 33,000 feet. And everything's looking good. We're still seeing some strange weather here. So if I look here, you can see actually the clouds look really nice. Yeah. That looks really, really nice. With the overcast below us, that looks nice. I'm not sure it's accurate at this point, but it definitely does look very good. I hope you will produce a broadcast for 1440p in the future. The problem is I will not be able to do 1440p simply because because of the latency. To the YouTube servers from Kuwait, where this broadcast is being delivered to you guys. Daffy, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Also, override X-plane turbulence and surface crosswind attenuation percentage should be off in AXP12. It might be on the default. All right, well, all right. Let's go ahead and take a look, guys. Look at these clouds. They actually look very nice. Yeah. All right, so let's actually take a look here. Maybe you guys can help me with this. So if I go to the options and disconnect X and connect again. All right, let's do that. So we're gonna disconnect it, and then we're gonna connect it again. Active Sky. There we go. So now it looks like the weather is coming from, and it does look slightly different, without a doubt. Thanks for that, guys. So yeah, 1440p is out of the question for me at this point, simply because of the latency between the servers. So override X-plane turbulence and surface crosswind attenuation percent should be off in, it might be on default. All right, we can check that real quick. Let's do that. If we come here and bring this, options, and let's see here, wind options and effects, override X-plane turbulence is, all right, it's not ticked. When enabled, it says X-plane main charge surface wind speed is limited to 10 knots. And gusts are removed. Only reported data, not actual, to prevent X-plane from creating its own turbulence effect and allowing X-plane to more appropriately inject its own effects without unwanted interaction. Applies only to X-plane 11. Yeah, that's what I thought. So this actually doesn't work with X-plane 12. This only works for X-plane 11. So, I'm not sure if this is not updated, but that's what it says here. I remember seeing this option yesterday. I was fiddling around with this. Does this run better or worse than MSFS? From a performance perspective, I think probably Microsoft Flight Simulator is maybe slightly less optimized, if I'm completely honest. Of course, I have a 4090 now, so it's very difficult for me to say. We don't have frame generation in X-plane, but we do have it in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, so yeah. So if I look here now and go to the weather conditions, we have showers, and this is probably what we're seeing here. I do like the clouds a lot in this scene. As you can see here, as we go through the clouds and climb to our cruise altitude, things are actually looking very nice, as you can see here. Now, Active Sky XP12 does not change the weather. These are the same volumetric clouds that X-Plane injects into the sim. It's only the actual meteorological information is injected in a different way. So yeah, we're does this? Yeah. So we are looking good. We continue our climb to 36,000 feet. This, if you look at this, I mean, this looks really nice. The depiction of clouds here in this specific scene looks very nice. Definitely things are improving in X-Plane, without a doubt. And here is a flyby for you guys. Wing view. Yeah. All right. So as we continue our climb, we have M16 drivers. So basically, they make the weather transition smoothing instead of popping. Yes, the smoothing. Anthony, hello, my friend. Anthony Seaworth, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Thank you for your continued support, my friend. M116 driver, yes. So in this version, you will not see the weather pop up. You will see very smooth transition of the weather changes, which is very, very cool. I like what they've done there with the weather. All right, so as we climb to 36,000 feet, let's go ahead and program the engine fire. And to program a failure in the Toliss, you can do this from the control panel. So we're going to come here and we're going to go to the fault scenarios. We're going to say add fault and select fire. Let's see here. Engine, which engine should, let's say fail engine number 2. We're going to select fire, and we're going to select at an altitude. We're going to select 15,000 feet. There, 15,000 feet, and then we're going to say apply. And now what's going to happen, as soon as we hit 15,000 feet, the engine number 2 will be on fire, and then we'll have to go through the defined checklist to basically address the engine fire procedure in order to ensure safe landing of the aircraft. Of course, 15,000 feet is very close to our destination, and I'm doing this on purpose so that it adds a little more challenge to it, as we need to very quickly run through the engine fire procedure before we are established on the ILS to ensure a safe landing into our destination. So, Bo Mo, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. The aircraft is supposed to release. Thank you very much, Rand. I think you have the answer there from Rand. And here is the thing, guys. If in regards to the Fly Lilo project, if we hit our target of 1,500 euros, I'm going to run a giveaway and provide 3 copies of the Toliss plus 2 other aircraft I'm gonna leave as a surprise for the time being. So a total of 5. Maybe I'll add more, but that's only if we reach our target. But I'm also gonna give a couple of maybe the top 3 donations. I'm gonna give them a gift as well, courtesy of the Q8 Pilot channel, just as means of supporting you guys and as means of saying thank you, and as well to support the Fly Lilo project. And by the way, whatever the difference is by the end of ACG Aviation Channel, welcome aboard, my friend. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're enjoying the stream. On April 9th, whatever the difference is from 1,500 euros, I will top that up myself and make sure that the guys that fly Lilo are, are able to get a total of 1,500 euros from the channel in order to, procure those adaptive gaming devices for our friends who can use them in our community. Right, let's take a look at the outside real quick. And here's what things look like with Active Sky XP. We don't see those ugly looking clouds, the ugly towering clouds. So things definitely look a lot better. Not in terms of the textures, because these are all the same, but this, if this was an overcast condition, and if we look here, it says cloudy. It's depicted cloud scene, broken 12.7, turbulence moderate, icing none, shear gradual, cloudscape flat, and that's what we see here. Yeah, so I think now it's starting to look, pretty decent. We don't see those really ugly clouds, although we are at 33,000 feet. So because it probably injects more accurate weather than X-Plane that it shows, but I haven't really tested this sufficiently. But I know you guys wanted me to do it in the last stream, and hence we were having it here in this live stream. And thank you very much, guys, for letting me know that you had to have it on manual weather. But I think with manual weather, it's going to set the weather globally across the sim. So we're going to depend on the updates there. Don't bash devs in the chat. Yeah, please don't. Please don't. Hello there, Moby2172. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here, and thank you for your support, being a member of the channel. Appreciate it, my friend. All right, so we are arriving into the top of climb, and if we look at our flight plan, you'll see that the top of climb is followed by the top of descent. So not a very short, not a very long flight today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up. Let's see. Let's bring up. What do we want? All right. Let me bring this up here, and let's go to perf, and we're going to go to the next page, and next page, next page, and this is what we're interested in. And we need to bring up also our Avi tab, because we need. What am I doing today here? That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So we need Avitab because we need the weather information. So that's the flight plan. Let's see here. What do we have here? No, that's not what we want. Let me just bring this back. All right, that's good. So I can at least see what I'm reading. Let's see here. Did I pass the weather page? I think I probably did. All right, let's go back. All right, looks like we have the weather here. All right, perfect. So this is the weather over at Prague. If we look here, 210, 9 knots, 130 verbos. Ooh, look at that. Few at 2,000, scattered 3,600. Temperature is 10, QNH 905, and yeah, the weather isn't perfect, but it's not that bad. We are approaching so let's go ahead and enter the arrival information. QNH 0995, so 0995 for the QNH. The current temperature is 10, so we're going to enter that. Mag wind, we're just going to select 210.9, 210 and 9. Excellent. Transition altitude 18,000. I'm not sure if that's accurate. And then we need to go to Navigraph charts, and we need to look at the runway 24. So let's come here to the approach, and we're going to go to ILS runway 24, and we're going to select it. I love Navigraph charts 8. It's just brilliant. All right, And if we come here, and this is the number we're interested in DAH, so we're going to select 1358 for the baro. So 1358 for the baro. Excellent. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have all the information set in the Mach 2 for our approach. Let's go back to flight plan, and if we look here, we have about 105 nautical miles before top of descent. We are at our cruise altitude, and everything is looking in tip-top shape for the rest of our flight. Okay, Gore Luck, hello my friend, welcome aboard. Which version do you recommend? 319, 21, 346. It's a difficult decision because the software is crazy expensive. Yeah. So, good evening, Arc Flight. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. So, from the entire Toliss lineup, if you are in doubt, and I said this in my top 10 payware aircraft for XP12, if you are in doubt and you are not sure which Toliss to pick, I always would recommend the A319. And simply because I think it is the best of those three. However, that said, with the release of the A320neo, I would probably pick the A320neo of the entire Toliss lineup. This is by far the very best Toliss I've seen so far. I really like this aircraft a lot, and I like the A320. So from the Airbuses, the A380 and A320 are the ones I like the most. And so yeah, so I definitely recommend this one here. All right, status is normal, perfect. All's looking good, and we can see the ILS-24 here in the display, and everything is looking perfect. Here's a look at the wing view, and you can see we have overcast conditions here where we're flying. Things, I mean, you can see this is not exactly what you should see, but it looks a lot better than the ugly towering clouds that XP12 injects. So this actually looks pretty good. Yeah. XP12 improved since the beta, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Qasim Isa to the live stream here today, and for subscribing to the channel. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the recommendation. You're most welcome, sir. And do enjoy it. But if you can wait until the 20th, then I'd say wait until the 20th and buy this aircraft. The A320neo is just immense fun, and the simulation of the aircraft systems is absolutely amazing. Amazing. I love this aircraft. All right, so we are 87 nautical miles from top of descent, cruising at 36,000. Everything is looking pretty good today, and so far no incidents. And again, we are, as soon as we begin the descent, we are going to simulate the engine fire at exactly 15,000 feet. I'm going to run through the procedure as per the ECAM. So you will get on the upper ECAM, you'll get one of the things I really like about Airbus is not just the automation that it offers, but it actually is very friendly to the pilots, even amidst an emergency. And you will see that once we simulate the engine fire, you will see on the upper ECAM, it will actually display all the steps that you need to do. Now, you need to know where those controls are in order to effectively exercise the procedure, but everything is actually displayed here, and I love that about Airbus. I think they make it very friendly for the pilots, and I do like their philosophy of creating cockpits that are very similar. So if you fly the A319, 20, the A321, you have very similar cockpits. So getting type-rated pilots on the A319 to migrate to an A320, for example, or A321 becomes really a seamless exercise and requires less time and effort, and obviously less money as well. We have Core Tube. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. will become the go-to Airbus. Absolutely, absolutely. There, yeah, you are spot on there, Rand. And if you also look at the more modern Airbus aircraft, such as the A380 and the A350, you will notice that the cockpit of both aircraft is very similar. And again, this is following the same philosophy from Airbus, which is a very good philosophy. Yeah. And by the way, you'll see the same thing with Boeing. The cockpit of the 737, 600, 700, 800, 900 is pretty much the same, with the difference being, some of the equipment, some of the features. The 777, though, is very different from all of them. And, in that type, so if you go across types in Boeing, you will not see the same philosophy applied. You'll see very different looking cockpits, especially if you are a 747 pilot going to the 777, things will be very different. Corey Gilbert, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Baker says, I'll get the firemen ready at the descent airport. Thank you very much, Baker. Yeah, I appreciate that. We're definitely going to need the fire brigade to be on standby at the airport once we arrive. 31 into our flight and cruising at 36,000 feet, ladies and gentlemen, with a top of descent in about 66 nautical miles. And all is looking good. Let's take a look at the outside real quick. And here is what things are looking like in the outside. And of course, we can go to the external view and not do a cinematic flyby. So let's do that. Yeah. Absolutely lovely. And again, here's a look. Again, Toliss has indicated they are working on the textures, so this is one area they'll improve. You can see that this is not, very, very high resolution, and I do hope that it would be such a shame not really to have, very high quality textures for this aircraft, because it is really, in my view, the very best of the Toliss lineup, there for X-Plane 12. So I really hope they fix that. And I hope they fix this darkness that we have in X-Plane cockpits. By the way, the MD-11 has received an update. I still haven't taken a look at it. But I will be probably doing it in the next couple of streams or so. We'll see. IFR Captain is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Anthony Seaworth, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. What's going with the flight factor? I'm having all kinds of issues in their whole lineup. Yes, the update, but their priorities are skewed. Here's the thing, Anthony, with flight factor. Flight Factor has been an X-Plane developer for the longest time. In fact, one of the very first to adopt the platform and develop for the platform. My issue with Flight Factor is not so much the quality of their aircraft. I think they produce very complex aircraft in terms of system simulation, the texturing. This sound department is not their, strongest point, but I think in terms of texturing overall and the fidelity of system simulation, I think they do spend a lot of effort in producing, depth of system simulation. My problem with them has always been that they, for example, have the issues with the 777, right? And those issues have kind of perpetuated over the lifetime of the product. So there were updates to the product. They've updated the product from X-Plane 10 to X-Plane 11 to X-Plane 12, but with the same exact issues being carried over from one update to the other. It looks to me like maybe it's a skill set issue. Maybe the people who actually worked on the aircraft are no longer with Flight Factor, and therefore that creates a problem. And that is something, by the way, very common in the software industry. It does happen. But that is one issue I do have with them. For example, if we look at their A320 by Flight Factor, when it first came out, it was advertised as early access beta, and it remained in beta for until this day. It's always been in beta. It was never released. There's no official release to the aircraft. I think they did maybe an official release sometime back in X-Plane 11. They said, okay, now this is version 1. And then we went back to beta because we're now in X-Plane 12. And that is now going to perpetuate for, I don't know, maybe until the end of time. I don't know. So that is my issue with Flight Factor. And I know that for the most part, they don't develop the aircraft. They actually are a publisher, and they have someone else. I think Active Sky is the company that develops for Flight Factor, with very few exceptions. I do know that the Flight Factor, I know that Toliss and Flight Factor, I think they work together. I think they're on good terms and they work together, but I don't know to what extent. Yeah, their lineup is pretty good, but takes them forever to update things, and when there is an error, it gets carried over from one version to the other. So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now 32 nautical miles from top of descent. We are going to consult our flight plan for the final or the initial approach altitude at the center fix for runway 24. Of course, we're performing an ILS today for runway 24, and you can see that the platform altitude or the initial approach altitude is 4,000 feet. So, what we're going to do is we're going to reset the MCP altitude to 4,000 feet in preparation for our descent. We're going to do a nav descent today, and we're going to take a note of what happens at 15,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead now and decouple my throttles just in preparation for the simulated engine fire that we're going to do. We are about 38 minutes into our flight right now. As you can see here on the clock, that's exactly from when we started taxiing, and we are now bound to top descent in 25 nautical miles. Aero Hub. So I have Active Sky for XP11. It is compatible with XP12 now, or is it a whole new product that I have to purchase? No. Aero Hub. The X-Plane 12 upgrade is free of charge for everyone with the Active Sky 11 license. All you need to do is head over to the Hi-Fi website, go to the download section, then go to Active Sky. You will see the beta downloads. In there, you will find Active Sky XP12. Download that, and you can log in with exactly the same. You're going to need to enter the same license key of your Active Sky 11 license key. Then you enter your user ID and password that you've created, and you're good to go. It's a free upgrade. I'm interested in buying XP12. I used to use 11, but now I only use MSFS. The reason I'm considering it is because I want to fly certain aircraft. But that's a good reason for you to consider purchasing X-Plane 12. And if you like flying high-fidelity aircraft, then I can tell you that you will not be disappointed with X-Plane 12. I do have to, though, give you a word of caution there as far as performance. X-Plane 12 and MSFS, for that matter, are both single-core dependent, and you will need quite a powerful machine to run it at, if you want maximum settings, for example. If that's not an issue for you, and you're happy with whatever Microsoft Flight Simulator is giving you today, just note that, for example, if you're getting 30 FPS or 35 FPS in Microsoft Flight Simulator at the ultra settings, or kind of mid-high settings, then you will probably get 5 to 10 FPS less in X-Plane with the same setup. Just as a word of caution, that's of course it could differ. It could be very different in your situation, but that is based on my particular experience, not with just my PC, but with all my friends who have X-Plane and MSFS. I've done some testing on their machines earlier when I was doing the testing for the 4090 to kind of benchmark the car and its performance. And this is what I can report to you in terms of performance. So just be aware of that. We are going to Prague. You can always type !route to get the route that we're flying. And we have is it Zishik? Sorry, I can't say your name properly. I do apologize. Hey QA, just saw your video with the A319 BSS. Have you done anything special during installation? Just bought the BSS and the stereo image is broken. Some sounds are shifted badly to one side. Really? No, I haven't had that issue. Man, Johnson, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Thank you very much for your support. XP12 is not fully optimized. It's on Laminar's list to do. Absolutely. You are absolutely right there. Chris, hello, Chris. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. All right. So we are 4 nautical miles from top of descent. We have the MCP altitude reset, and we're going to begin the descent shortly. We are looking... the weather is okay. Let's take a quick look here at the weather. Showers. All right, so we're going to expect some showers here on arrival to Prague, 2 nautical miles, and we'll begin the descent shortly. Excellent. Jasper, hello there, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us this evening. Thank you very much. All right. 36. All right, TD reached, and there we go. Nav descent. And the aircraft is now going to descend. And I know I'm going to sweat over this one today once we have that engine fire. All right, status is normal. Everything's looking good. And we have begun the descent. At 18,000 feet, we're going to set Barrow to 099er, what was it, 8? Let's see here. Next space, 995. All right. Perfect. Right. I'm not sure there what happened here. Look at this, guys. Let me bring this up here. It went down to 3,500 feet per minute descent. I'm not sure why, but it looks like it's readjusting now. Right, by the way, let's go ahead and turn on the landing system. And we can put the terrain here. And we forgot to turn on our weather prediction system. So we can turn that on now. Auto. There we go. And here's the weather radar. Things are not looking very good, but it's all in the green, so we're good there. And we continue our descent towards Prague. Thanks for the answer. That's weird. It seems the audio events are off for me. I can fix it myself by repositioning them, but there are 100 engine entries and coordinates that I would have to adjust. What I would recommend is that you email support and tell them about this problem. That would be the best thing. And they are very helpful. The guys that do the BSS sound packs are very helpful. So so do post a comment. Either I'm not sure if they have a Discord, but normally they're on the X-Plane org forums. They have a forum there which you can post to. So my recommendation is to post it there. I tried, no response so far. Hopefully the answer. No, just email. You can try sending them an email. That should work. Thomas Wang, welcome aboard, my friend. I didn't know you were here with us. Welcome, glad to have you here. All right, guys, we are descending through 4,000 from 28,000 feet. I can see the weather being changed here. It looks like Active Sky has downloaded something and it's kind of updating the weather. But overall, if I look here, things are not as bad as they used to with default X-Plane weather. So it is kind of looking, you know, pretty good. All right. I do like the one of the things I really like in X-Plane is the is the new graphic set. All their airport, the graphic assets are just really unbelievable, and all the airports that I've flown to or from thus far, from a structural point of view, they actually are spot on. They look very much like the real airport in terms of the layout and placement of structures. Now, of course, they look nothing like the real airport in terms of how the buildings and the all the airport clutter. But when you land at an airport, for example, go to Munich airport, there is a lot of resemblance to what the airport looks like in real life. And I'm finding it quite natural to fly in the default airport. So unless the Payware Airport is really something wow, I really don't bother with X-Plane 12. You don't really have to purchase a lot of airports simply because the default airports are outstanding. They're of outstanding quality. Excellent. We continue to descent. And if you look here, so we are probably in, yeah, we are 24, about 20,000 feet for 4,000, which is the initial platform altitude or initial approach altitude. I think that the term platform altitude is only used in the UK. That's what I've been told by a couple of friends, and that it's kind of very alien to others to say platform altitude, as it is only used in the UK. So, yeah. Right, let's do a quick flyby here to take a look at this rather beautiful aircraft by Toliss. One of the things, again, I like about X-Plane is the camera system that is very intuitive, very user-friendly, and very capable camera system. All right, we are looking good. Continue the descent. Thank you for your support and help, Rand. Appreciate it. Zinc helps on AMD systems for sure, improve performance. That would be a good thing to try, even if you are, you know, you don't have an AMD. It would be a good thing to just give it a shot and try it. All right. So you can see here from the map, from the display on our. Come on. All right. So you can see here that we are going to make a turn, and that is going to prove rather difficult once we are actually, by the way, guys, what we're doing, so when we simulate an engine fire, it is not very realistic to simulate it that way. And I think if you really want to enjoy this Toliss, set it to random failures. So any failure could happen at any time, and you can adjust the probability of a failure happening. But when you actually simulate, say, engine fire at a very specific time or very specific, you know, input that happens, or an event, or an altitude, a specific metric, right, that you select, it is very useful because you can actually go through the actual procedure of, you know, engine fire. But there is something called the reaction time. Normally, in real life, when a failure happens, you don't know that this failure is going to happen. So your mindset is not prepared for this failure to happen. And your decision-making process is very different when a failure occurs and you know that it's going to occur, or versus you don't really know and it happens completely random. So there is a decision time that it takes for your brain to process the information and for you to make a decision as to what you want to do next. Obviously, pilots are trained to deal with situations like this, and the immediate thing for them to do is to follow the checklist, and that's what they do. But sometimes there can be panic in the cockpit, as we've seen in some situations. One of the most collected pilots I have seen is probably Sully, Sullenberger, when he landed the A320 in the U.S. aircraft in the Hudson River. That was an example of a very collected pilot that reverted. And of course, he needed time because the situation he was put in is unprecedented. Dual engine failure was something that has not happened, and pilots are not trained for dual engine failure. So it was an unprecedented event that really took unprecedented performance from Sullenberger to really bring it, and he was then declared a national hero and all that good stuff. And I think he is a hero by what he's done and how he stayed collected and how he actually waited. Ooh! And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have an engine fire. As you can see, the master caution is sounding. And if we look at the outside, we have an engine fire here. Mayday, 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 engine fire, engine 2. Let's go ahead and silence the alarm first. And the first thing, it says land ASAP. You can see the temperature rising here very quickly. So let's go ahead and follow the procedure. Throttle lever idle. So let's go ahead and put the throttle on idle. Engine master 2 is off. Engine master 2 is off, and says engine fire 2 PB button. So we're going to come here, and engine 2 is on fire, and that is confirmed. And then we're going to come here, and it says agent 1 after 3 seconds to discharge. So let's go ahead and discharge now agent 1. Agent 1 is now discharged. All right, so we're discharging the agent 1, and now it says ATC, and we can also do. All right, so we have we have all sorts of problems here. Engine start selector to ignition. All right, so let's put that on ignition. Imbalance monitor if no fuel leak. Imbalance monitor TCAS mode to TA. So we're going to set the TCAS to TA. And then we are going to turn off the X-bleed. The X-bleed is located right here. So we're going to shut the X-bleed here. And we can then, this says the throttle lever, move the throttle lever. All right, so we're going to have to move it a little bit. All right. So there we go, throttle idle. All right, so the auto throttle. It says throttle levers, it says here, let's see here, auto throttle limited, so we can actually turn it off. Okay, and then we move the throttle. Okay, here we go, auto throttle is off, and we can bring this back now. All right, the autopilot is still engaged, so we're going to continue now with the, obviously the speed is, we're going to just bring this back and let the speed descend. All right, here we go. All right. Now what we can do is we can come here to and clear the messages. All right. All right, we cleared everything here. Land ASAP, hydraulic PTU, and ignition. And this is us right here. We're going to continue to descent. We are approaching 10,000 feet. And let's see here. Do we have... Why is this engine still running? Well, I guess it takes its own sweet time to shut down. So we'll wait for the engine to shut down. But if we go to the outside now, we can see this engine is shutting down. And the fire has been... look at that. We have some ice here. Yeah. All right. The weather isn't very good. We're going to go to 10 nautical miles here. Range. And we are at 10,000 feet. We can see the aircraft is decelerating. Let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights. Nose light to takeoff. Runway turn-off lights. We're going to turn on the passengers and fasten seatbelt signs, non-smoking signs as well. We are coming here, and if we look here at our flight plan, we are... Where are we? We are here, 6 nautical miles. And we need to be at 4,000 here. So, alright. So we're looking okay so far. Right, let me give it some power now. And we can actually set this to... 210. Right, we continue the descent. Ooh, wow, quite a bit of, quite a procedure. Into might be due to the blades still spinning from the wind. That could be it, yeah. We can see that it's kind of going down now. And it should go to the off position completely in a little while. But yeah, we can see that this is the most important thing is that the temperature, you can see the temperature is at 8 Celsius, which means the engine is pretty cold. So, and the fire is put out. So that's what we're looking for. We are a little bit let me go ahead and set the descent here. Right, I'm going to set this to about 1,500 feet. We're going to go to idle power. Yeah, it's going to be all right. What we are going to do, we're now during a situation like this, the auto throttle is very limited, so it will not really do what you want it to do. So there's no managed speed. We're going to have to manage the speed ourselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here to performance, and then we're going to go to the approach phase. Let's go back. All right. So here's the approach phase, and we can see that the VAP is 135. All right, perfect. 135, okay. And there we are here. We continue to descent. Look at this, snowy. Again, you have the seasons there in X-Plane. We can already see the localizer and glide slope here for the runway. And I think we can now reduce our rate of descent to only 1,000 feet per minute. And we'll watch our speed. We'll take it to about 200 knots or so. So I'm just going to give it a little bit throttle. Right, perfect. We're still looking good. We have to be very careful with our altitude and ensure that we descend. Right, here we go. We need to be at 4,000. We can see the glide slope needle now moving up. Let me ease off on the throttle. Looks like we're going to have some rain as well. That adds to the complexity of of our approach today. Right, landing system is on. All right, let's go in and arm the speed brake. And we're going to do brakes medium today. And as we make our turn towards the airport, towards Prague, I think this is the first time I see the season changes here. You see them in the sim. All right, so we are looking good. And here's 4,000. And at 4,000 exactly, we're going to level off. And I'm going to engage the approach button. All right, approach is set and selected. Here we go. We are now turning towards Prague. We're going to add just a little bit of localizer captured. Speed check, flaps 1. Speed check, flaps 2. All right, I'm going to set the speed here to 135. 135 is set. And now you can see the engine is completely off. So we are totally on single engine operation right now. And everything is working exactly as it should. Right, the globe slide diamond is now starting to move down. We're going to have to watch our speed. So we're going to give it a little more throttle here as we reach the final speed here. All right, speed check. Gear is going down. And flaps full. All right, we are looking good. I'm going to keep this at about 140 knots or so. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of throttle. We're going to need some, you can see that we are requiring a lot more thrust to keep the speed, as we have only one engine currently operating. We are lined up now with the runway 24 here at Prague. And the weather conditions are not that great. Glide slope active. Visibility is pretty bad, but hopefully we'll have a visual on the runway pretty soon. And now from this point forward, folks, everything is, the speed has to be managed manually, and we'll disconnect at 1,000 feet like we normally do, but everything else has to be managed manually at this point. Let me reset my view. I have the runway in sight, I can see it, and yeah, we're looking good. Barely can see the runway. All right.
2,500.
Excellent. We're looking good. Landing distance procedure apply. One pack only if WA on Cat 3, single only. Right, let me just maintain the speed. We don't want to lose too much speed here. So I'm gonna, again, the weather conditions are very bad right now. So there's a lot of crosswind, there is a gusting wind. So God help us. Right? Looking good. ASAP. That's the message displayed on the upper ECAM. And you can see the wind is doing its thing without a doubt. 2,000 feet. Right, let's notify cabin crew. Seats for landing, please. All right, landing checklist is complete, and we have no blues. We have the runway in sight. Absolutely terrible weather. And single engine operation here. Landing at Prague. Wycliffe Barrett, welcome aboard, my friend. All right. At 1,000 feet, I will disconnect the autopilot. And we have notified the airport authorities and to have the fire brigade ready on the runway, as we will vacate the passengers probably on the runway. 1,000 feet, and ladies and gentlemen, we have been cleared to land. Runway 24. Autopilot disconnected. My aircraft.
Hundred above. Minimum.
Continue.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Prague. We have reverse on one engine, obviously. And we're going to bring the aircraft to a stop here. All right. Let's bring the aircraft to a complete stop. And set the parking brake. And now we can have the fire brigade come and service the aircraft here on the runway. Let's take a look at our landing in the replay. Thank you very much, Don. Thank you very much, Rand. Thank you, Fly Lilo. Stan, thank you very much. One engine touchdown, nice and smooth. Well done, Captain. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate Wycliffe. Oh, I'm sorry that you've had an engine crash or a sim crash. Sorry about that. Thank you very much, Chris. All right, let's take a look, guys, at our, let's toggle replay mode. And we're just going to do this a little bit, then move it. All right, here we go. I think that's good here. Let's say play, right? And here is our aircraft with only one engine running. Very strong winds there as we came into land. Gusting winds. There's our dead engine. And here's the tower view. Yeah. Yeah, I've got to admire the beauty of this Toliss aircraft. Yeah, that's what the crosswind does, and we definitely didn't want to do a go-around with this, with this really terrible weather. But let's take a look one more time at this aircraft landing here as we came in close proximity to the runway. You can see how the wind was so strong there. Yeah. Not bad considering the circumstances. You can see, again, one reverser only as this engine is completely shut down. And we can turn this off. Do you guys want to see the replay again? Or was this sufficient? What FPS are you getting? What am I getting? 43 right now. 43 FPS right now. At maximum settings, by the way. So if you guys like to see the replay again, we can do that. Or we can, let's go ahead and turn off the engine number 1. We can, by the way, put this engine mode selector back. And no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to start the APU master. And we'll start the APU. All right, and you can see that while with the engine fire, all of these systems automatically became in-op, wing NTIs, Cat 3 dual, so you can do only single, so no auto land probably. Cat 3 engine 2 bleed, reverser 2, pack 2, gen 2, and Y engine 2 pump. So all of these became in-op as a result of the engine fire. So yes, so you guys would like to see the replay again. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Toggle replay, and let's come here. Let me remove that. All right, and let's see here. All right, there we go. Let's play that. And let's do it from this angle here. There you go. That one is good there. Not a perfect landing, but under the circumstances, I'll definitely take it. And I'm going to do one more. We'll do it with the... Let's do it one more time with a wing view, perhaps. So we're going to go here. All right, there we go. And yeah, let's do that one. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful sight of the Toliss A320 here coming to land at Prague in XP12. Yeah, look at that wing flex. Absolutely gorgeous. Guys, I have to tell you, I love XP12. Listen to those engine sounds. Just absolutely immersive experience with the single engine operation there, and close up on the landing gear. All right, we can do that for sure. Right there, we bring it closer here, and let's do a close up on the landing gear. Why not? Maybe you want to do it from this angle right here. There you go. Here's a close-up on the landing gear. Where are we? There. There you go. Is that close enough? There you go. All right. There you go. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Just how you see how the suspensions, you know, work so well, and just the aircraft is just performs phenomenally well. Very, very nice. It is without a doubt very sweet. Absolutely lovely. All right. So, folks, before we conclude today, there is one more thing I'd like to show you. So now we are running X-Plane Active Sky XP. Okay. So if we go to the X-Plane weather, hang on one second here. Let me. All right. So we're out of replay mode. Okay. So one thing, I will do a detailed video, guys, on this, but I just want to show you this very quickly. Okay. So if we go to the weather information, by the way, you can take a look at all the weather. It says customized, as you can see here. So if I click here, now you can see the different layers, fuse stratus, overcast stratus. Now, how this is shown, because this is, how should I say, the meteorological data, when using Active Sky XP12, I've noticed that in many situations where I've used Active Sky XP, and when using X-Plane 12 default, I had all of the winds at 0, so there was absolutely nothing. But when I fired up X-Plane Active Sky, it actually gave me some different values. Okay. Now, probably not having everything at 0 is probably highly unrealistic. So, Daniel, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. It's been a pleasure to have you here, sir. And thank you very much for your continued support and loyalty to the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So I will produce a very detailed video on this, on the setup, installation, and all that once I get to it. I need to brush up. I honestly, guys, I forgot a lot of things about the setup of this, but I will come back with a detailed video. What I'd like to show you and report to you is, indeed, in some situations, what I've noticed is that X-Plane 12 default weather gave 0 values for the wind layers, while Active Sky was reporting some wind speed and proper heading of those wind layers. And having 0 wind all the way is probably not realistic. Okay. Now, if I go to X-Plane weather, so if I go to so I'm going to say done. Actually, let's come here and let's say download real weather. And now it's downloading the real weather. And it says just now. Now you can see that things have changed drastically. Okay, you can see that you have a broken cirrus, you have scattered cumulus. Even the type of clouds are actually very different. Now, I am unable up to this point to verify independently from independent sources whether which one of these is actually the correct representation of the current weather. And because some sites, some actually official weather sites, have reported what X-Plane shows, and some others have reported what Active XP does. Now, I'm not using, by the way, the VATSIM stations. I'm just using whatever is coming by default in Active Sky and X-Plane. Here is again another look at what X-Plane. So this is manual weather. We're going to say apply changes, and I think if we go back and select customize, now you can. No, I think we need to close and reopen Active Sky. So let me do that. It says partly cloudy. All right. So we're going to close it and we're going to open it again. Active Sky. Yeah. So definitely there is a difference in. By the way, in most situations, in most situations, the difference is very minimal between the two. But in some situations, the difference is massive. And yeah, so now we have this connected. There's no precipitation remote. And now if we go back to customize, now you can see a very different picture here in the resume flight. Yeah, so is this what the METAR is? Again, I cannot attest to the accuracy of, of either one at this point. I know it's real live weather, but I cannot tell you which one is more realistic at this point. So, so let me fiddle around with this in the coming days, and I will produce a video to detail everything. So far, it seems to work the way it should. In fact, if we go back here, and you can only add layers, and you see this, you see how this is very different from what X-Plane was reporting. So this is now few cumulus, and the layer, the altitude of the layer is very different, and the weather, definitely the speeds are very different, as you can see here. So there is a lot of difference between the two in the depiction of clouds and the type of clouds. But I'll leave that for a detailed video in the coming days once I have researched this properly, and I will come back and report to you guys my findings.
Wind shear.
All right, so it looks like there's a wind shear there. So, and that is a function of Active Sky. Generally speaking, I do like Active Sky a lot, guys. I think in my experience with Active Sky for many years, I think it's a very it's a very robust weather engine. Now, it does not change, how the weather looks, but it injects more realistic weather, at least in X-Plane 11 it used to. So I will come back to you guys and report once I have had some time to thoroughly research this and find out the most realistic settings as well, and what those settings do. I kind of need to brush up on that. So until that time comes, I want to thank you guys very much for being here. Thank you very much, Detective 70. Hello, Cupid. I'm late, but thanks for this direct. Just subscribe. Best regards. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys being here this evening. It's been rather a fun stream, very challenging, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Streaming it for you. So I hope that you've had fun and you've learned something useful today from this live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for being here. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, and bye-bye for now.